everything she's got. The gear shifts are seamless. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be going over a 2020 Dodge Durango Citadel. So first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah for providing us with the Durango Citadel. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's just get right into the video. Under the hood of the Durango Citadel, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 that goes for an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 293 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque, and then a towing capacity of about 6,200 pounds. Now let's go over the front end on the Durango Citadel. So no sport hood, nothing crazy like that on the front. You just have the traditional Durango hood there at the top. And then also you do get the projector lights with little LED accent lights. Now they do make the chrome a little bit different in coloration on the Citadel, just to make it look a little bit more luxurious, a little bit classier. Your fog lights are there at the bottom, parking sensors all along the front, and that is everything for the front end. Coming around the side here, we've got two 65mm tires and 20-inch wheels in the front and in the rear as well, and then they continue that chrome theme with the design on the wheels. And then you do have body colored fenders. They're fender flares. They're very small that go all the way around. Citadel logo right there, and you got another chrome strip that goes along the bottom. But other than that, there is the full side view. Also, the mirrors are finished in chrome as well. Here's the key fob on the Citadel. Notice you've got a couple functions. You've got the unlock, the lock, remote start, and then the release for the hatch. Just press the remote start function twice. First time we'll lock it, second time we'll start it up. You guys can hear how quiet that 3.6 liter V6 is. Hold that down again and that'll shut it off, and then press the tailgate function twice and that'll open up the rear hatch. Now actually coming here into the back, you guys will notice the seats actually do fold down. You just have to pull that little tab right there and then throw it forward, and then when you want to pick the seat back up, just grab the little strap, and there is a little Velcro strap you can kind of stick it to right there. And then this actually lowers down the hatch again, get a 12 volt on the other side, and then you do get some extra storage underneath here, and then these are kind of just nice little trim pieces, but that's all for that part of the back. Now finishing things up in the back, you guys can see the massive light bar there, and nothing has changed pretty much in the back in terms of design. It's just signature Durango look. You have the dash force, you know this is 4-wheel drive, and then the Citadel badging on the other side. You got the parking sensors all along the back, and then just so you know, since this little area right here is flat for the bezel, that means it does not have a tow package. It'll have a little hump in the middle if it does have a tow package. And yeah, there's your back. Now coming here to the side, you guys will notice here on the door panel, we've got this nice leather trim with black stitching that goes all along. And then you've got kind of like the darker silver trim just up above it. And then this one does have captain chairs. Here are the seats for the second row. Full leather seats. They've got nice bolsters on them, relatively soft. By the way, this car is just over 20,000 miles on it. It is pre-owned, and seats have held up really well. Now, let's actually pop in, and as always, don't make fun of my hair. It's windy outside. I'm 5'11", you guys can see I've got a good amount of headroom, and then you can see legroom is solid as well. You've got a little cargo net right there. Got a couple vents here, and then you've got the little heated seat controls with your power outlet and a couple of USBs. You do get some armrests back here, a couple more cup holders on top of that, and then here are the seats in the back. Not going to pop back there. You're going to have pretty small legs to fit back there, but at least you do get a third row. And they do give you a cup holder back there as well. Now coming up to the front, we do get keyless entry, so one touch will lock it, and then to unlock it, just put your hand right there with the door itself. Now looking at the door panel here at the front, it's pretty much identical to the rear, so you get that like darker silver trim with the black leather right there, and then you've got all of your window controls right here. Your memory seats just down below, and then here are the seats here at the front. So again, full leather. You've got the black stitching with the seats themselves. Your power adjustments are right there on the seat. Here's what the pedals look like. You get a cool little Dodge emblem right there. Gas release, you got your light controls as well, and then the steering wheel is automatically adjustable. And there's one more look before we pop in. Start her up, foot in the brake, push the push start. It'll say Durango right there in the center, and everything will pop onto life. Here's a quick look at the steering wheel on the Durango. You guys will notice that the leather all around is pretty smooth. Now you do have perforated leather on either side for a kind of like grippier use so that your hands don't slide all over the place when you grab onto it. Got traditional cruise control, controls for the center stack. You've got your voice commands right here, paddle shifters to shift the gears yourself, and there are radio controls just below the paddle shifters in the back of the steering wheel. There's your stock for the windshield wipers, and then also to do the high beams, and there's the steering wheel. Here on the center, you've got RPMs over on the left side. On the right side, you can see you've got the temperature gauge and the fuel gauge. And then here through the center, you guys can see there's a couple different menus you can go through. Remember, this car is just over 20,000 miles. Here's the average fuel economy for the person that's been driving this. And you guys can see the mileage right there is like 22,000. But yeah, other than that, there's everything for the center stack, and we'll just leave it to be a speedo. Now here is the center infotainment system. First and foremost, we are gonna pop it into reverse. You guys can see the backup camera. You guys can see that we do have the little trajectory lines. It does have rear park assist with the parking sensor, so obviously those will beep at you if you do get close to something. Sadly, only heated seats and heated steering wheel. Ventilated seats are an additional charge. This little headrest fold, if you guys haven't seen this before, you just press the little button and boom, folds the headrest in the back, hits the smallest children in the back of the head so that they, you know, be quiet and all that. But dual zone climate with the rest of the Durango, and then you guys can see here, this infotainment system is for 2020. If you actually press it, I'm not pressing it, response time is solid. It does come with navigation as well, which you can see loads up relatively quickly. And other than that, that is the infotainment system for the Citadel. Now down here, the analog controls. So for the climate system, you got dual zone for the front. There is a climate system in the back. If you guys are wondering, the controls are up there, but you can lock out the rear passengers if you want on the touchscreen actually. And then you've got your stability control, sport mode on, so that'll put it in sport mode. Right now it's in normal mode. Oh, sorry, it's in eco mode. If I turn eco mode off, that'll be the normal mode. It's kind of confusing, but that's just how it works with the Durango. Got your auto stop start, your parking sensor. Got a couple USBs and an auxiliary, 12 volt right there. And then here's the shifter for that 8-speed automatic. You do have the manual shift mode if you want to shift the gears yourself. A couple of cup holders right here. You got the center console, which lifting that up, you can see there's a 12 volt inside of there. Decent amount of storage space, and get another thing up there on the top. Coming over to the glove box, you guys can see it is lined with felts. Storage space is decent there as well, and then more of that kind of like darker silver trim, and that's all. Now up top here, you've got universal garage door openers. You do get a traditional sunroof with the Durango Citadel cream colored headliner, little sunglass holder, and that's all she wrote for the top. Now that we're done going over the interior on this Durango Citadel, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing on this particular Durango, since it is certified pre-owned, check out their website in the link below so you can get the most up-to-date pricing. They update their pricing on a daily basis on their website. Now in terms of brand new Citadels, the MSRP before any type of dealer incentive or anything like that for Citadels is typically somewhere in the high 40s to low 60s, depending on how loaded up you basically spec out the vehicle. The used ones are obviously going to be less. That all being said, let's take the Citadel out and see how it drives. Let's quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in the Citadel. Visibility of the hood is just like any other Durango, nothing's changed there. There's your visibility through both of the mirrors. Here's your visibility all throughout the rear. You can see it's a bunch of pretty big windows, easy to see out of. And that all being said, let's set off. We are setting off here in the Durango Citadel, and let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So first and foremost, from a ride quality perspective, super smooth, just like all the other Durangos. The Durangos and the Grand Cherokee sit on an old Mercedes-Benz chassis, and so it's really smooth riding. And by the way, that might be going, well, that is going to be going away soon. Apparently they're going to kind of take some platform stuff from Alfa Romeo, so might not be as smooth in the future. We'll see. Nothing against Alfa Romeo, but we'll see. Ride quality solid. In terms of the road noise, you hear quite a bit from the engine, not a lot from the tires. In terms of the engine noise, it's not a lot. Like, you hear a little bit of the V6 getting up and going, but it's pretty minimal, to be honest. Now going over these little things here, you guys can see it doesn't upset the car, and it's not too loud on the tires. The steering on this, there's a little bit of play, but it's relatively direct. I actually really like this color. This is the billet silver, and just a really nice color. Stays clean really well, so even when it is pretty dirty, it still looks like it's relatively clean. And coming up here, hopefully we get through before the other cars go. Nope. We did not make the cut, guys, so bear with me for a second while we wait. The other thing I want to mention is it's kind of interesting to see like the chrome right next to the silver with this particular one on the Citadel, because it just kind of looks different, is the best way for me to put it. Now, getting up here, we're going to get our like mild part of the acceleration. Yeah, it's actually pretty good from the mild acceleration standpoint. I feel like it's peppy enough with the 293 horsepower. Now I am going to put it over into the manual mode and the sport mode. We're going to see kind of how it performs here. So give her everything she's got. The gear shifts are seamless. Yeah, so it gets up really quick. The gear shifts definitely improve the acceleration a bunch, just to be frank with that. So from the shifting perspective, super solid. Now, I have said this in a bunch of other videos. If you want really solid power, go for the 5.7 Hemi. It's got 360 horsepower, so you're just over, what, 67 horsepower more. And so it is quite a bit peppier. It does sound quite a bit more, but better, sorry, can't talk. But this definitely does the job. And let's get into summing things up. So the Citadel, I kind of have a hard time with this package because the RT looks so much better than the Citadel from a just aesthetic standpoint, in my opinion, because it has a sporty look. If you want kind of more like the luxury look, then yeah, the Citadel is going to be the vehicle for you. The seats are a little bit softer. The suspension's a little bit softer compared to the RT. But if you want the cooler looks and you're okay with a little bit harsher ride and a little bit a little bit firmer seats, then the Citadel is, or sorry, the RT is definitely gonna be the route to go. So hopefully that made sense. Probably didn't because it's hot and my brain's frying, but I think the Citadel is cool. I don't think it's as cool as the RT. Moral of the story, thank you. There we have it, everyone. The 2020 Dodge Durango Citadel. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram here in Sandy for providing us with the Citadel. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.